We're in a series called Are We Good? Because we're talking about relationships. And relationships are so connected with our sense of happiness. And as our relationships are good, well, life is good. And when our relationships aren't good, regardless of what else is going good, life is tough and life is difficult. Last week, we started the series. We're talking about our relationships in the home we grew up in, our parents, specifically our dads. We talked about daddy issues. It was a cry fest in here, man. I'm telling you, you probably don't even need to go to YouTube and see that one, okay? But it really unearthed a lot of things for a lot of people. And so this week, I thought with school starting and everything, it'd be a great week to talk about friends. Talking about our relationship with friends. You know, we all need friends. You know, the most influential people in your life are the people you hang out with, really the top 5 people you hang out with. And somebody, when I was raising kids, somebody said, man, those 18 years go by fast. And what I realized is you don't have 18 years with your kids, right? What happens is you're the most influential. I remember when my kid had 4 kids, and I remember when I was Superman, man, and they loved me. They thought I was incredible. They listened to me. They liked to hang out with me. We laughed a lot. And then about age 12 or 13, I became less influential, and their friends became more influential. And you really have about 12 years to do things because all of a sudden they start listening to their friends and hanging out with their friends, and you're dumb as dirt at that point. You know, I mean, that's just kind of like, well, it just kind of happens. They do come back, by the way, but that's why when our kids go off to school, we want to make sure they hang around the right people, right? Like, we were always so scared about our kids' friends. You know, it's like, well, bring them over. We want to meet who you're hanging out with. You know, we smell them. You smell like weed. What's going on, man? You know, and everybody's smoking weed now, you know, and it's just like, what's going on, you know, that kind of deal. Because listen, here, you can believe whatever you want to about your little pumpkin, but whatever their friend's doing, your pumpkin's doing. Oh, no, I don't do that stuff, Mom. I'm just praying for them. I'm just trying to lead them to Jesus. Woo! So we were on them, man. We were on our kids saying, man, we want to make sure you hang out with the right people. It was only after our kids graduated we realized our kids weren't the right people. I mean, it was just like everybody in the community was saying, man, I don't care who you hang out with, just don't hang out with the preacher's kids. I'm telling you, man, they were trouble, and many of them were for sure. And what we recognize for all of us is that people, the friends that we have are the most influential people that we can tell. That we have in our life. In fact, you can tell the character of somebody's life by the people they hang out with. You know this. Say it with me. West End, Missouri City Online. Birds of a feather. And that is true. So that is true. And so you got to be careful about this because it's influential in your life, but it's also, you want to be the kind of friend that influences in the right way. In fact, this is not new. This idea of you become who you hang out with is not new. In fact, back in Proverbs, thousands of years ago, it says this: walk with the wise and become wise. Associate with fools and you end up in trouble. I know that to be true. When I was in high school, I accepted Christ. Now, before then, man, I was at the lake every weekend. I was having a good time and doing all kinds of crazy stuff, right? And then I got tired of that, and somebody explained to me that God loved me and wanted a relationship with me, and I wanted forgiveness. I knew I couldn't be good enough, so I needed grace. And so I believed in Jesus, that Christ died for my sins, was buried and rose again, and I began to follow him. And something happened that was kind of weird. I sort of began two ways to live my life, one during the week and one during the weekends. You know, and so I started growing and understanding, and all of a sudden I began and I loved this. But then my buddies would call me up, hey man, what are you doing this weekend? I said, well, I got to work, but after I work, we'll come out to Sandbass Point on Grapevine Lake. Oh man, I can't do that. I mean, I didn't. Okay, I'll be there. And you know, and it was just kind of it was very schizophrenic life, you know. It was just like, and what I realized is the pull of this community that I had was very, very powerful in my life. And it was only until I matured that I became to realize, man, I've got to really stand strong with some friends that will encourage me to walk in an upright way. I mean, really walk in an upright way. So this is the thing. We all need a place to belong. It's powerful. We all want to be a place where we're invited to, a group of people that like us and hang out with us and want us to be part. That's the way God made you and me. We were built for community, and we need that desperately.